The Coalition are masters of their craft when it comes to storytelling and producing an industry-leading campaign with a graphical showcase that resides at the very top of the mountain. They took risks and moved on Gears 5 with their own approach, the Coalition identity and stamp that we all wanted to see as they returned with the studio's second title. I found the campaign to be one of the most compelling, captivating Gears of War stories to date. It maintained the level of mystery that I've been relentlessly searching for in a Gears title since Gears of War 2, 11 years ago. I felt much more connected with the story than I did in Gears 4, a natural part of familiarising yourself with the new characters as you grow to care for them and enjoy the nuances of their personalities. I found Del to be a much more interesting character this time round. He felt less like a fill-in and had a vital presence in the story. Del is deep down an honest, caring, lovable nerd who knows everything about everything, but he wouldn't belittle others with his knowledge, he'd educate them. His relationship with the all-new, extremely capable Jack was enjoyable and added an additional spice to the story to keep things interesting as the Superbot helped Kate and the super nerd venture around the ominous yet compelling Mount Kadar. I think we can all agree that venturing to Mount Kadar, discovering the underground secret research facility, exploring the terrors of New Hope, were all experiences that made Act 2 stand out and bring us back that mystery to Gears of War that we've so desperately been striving for. Along the journey, we found collectibles that added value and context to the story. That one about Mira, yeah. Oh, damn, I think reading that whilst having Del moaning at me to hurry up wasn't exactly ideal, but reading that was a massive moment. My hands on my head, jaw on the desk. We all knew it deep down, but it was amazing to have confirmation in that light. Discovering these hidden secrets buried within this story for over a decade now. The skiff was a nice break from the combat and paced the story, but you can't help but feel like a lot of this open world stuff was very last minute. Maybe that's why we didn't see any campaign until the final moments up to release. The side missions felt like a bit of a chore and didn't really add much to the story, and the open world did feel a bit empty, rudimentary in some cases. However, TC did state that they didn't want to essentially master an open world and try to do everything all at once. These are merely open world elements and aspects, and I understand that, to add more facets to the story. To arrive at my point, these guys are the best in the business when it comes to PvE. They nail the campaigns and produce some brilliant experiences you can get yourselves lost in, adding that escape and horde to further enhance the experience. Now onto PvP, player versus player, the multiplayer experience. Before I get into this, just a disclaimer, I know people say these types of comments or videos can hurt your relationship with the developers, right? And that's fair enough. And the guys at TC have always supported me, and in terms of community relations and transparency, I think they're the best they've ever been. So a massive thanks to Octus and Dana for that. But I feel if I just make happy, false videos without driving my attention to current affairs, then I don't think I can really respect myself in that regard or expect others to listen to and value my opinion in some regard. So anyway, when it comes to PvP and the whole versus experience, it seems like we're in the same place as we were early on in Gears 4. And that's an unwanted vast array of animosity that's suffusing the community, be it through the store, prices, the rough matchmaking times that are gradually starting to gain traction within the community, or questionable gameplay decisions such as the flashbang or the state of escalation. So we're at a point where one half of the game, or 2/3 you could argue, is receiving amazing justified praise and recognition throughout the industry, and the other half is mostly dominated by negativity, animosity and criticism at this point, especially within the core community. And that half of the game is arguably just as imperative as the PvE side of things, because this half of the game is what keeps players coming back, keeping the game alive and breathing, keeping the community breathing. We currently have a store that is ridiculously, unfairly overpriced, and that needs urgent attention because you are hurting your game, the community, and that will drive people away. But devs have got to eat, yeah? The cost of making a game more than justifies microtransactions. They're a part of the modern game. They're here to stay, and I personally don't have an issue with them. What I do have an issue with is when they're incorporated poorly with poor pricing and an in-game currency that is arguably too much of a grind for people to enjoy. Pricing the store isn't as simple as Octus saying, lads, 500 iron for that one, and we'll price that one at 1,000 next week. There's a team within the studio or Microsoft that will make these decisions. It's intricate, and there must have been some internal understanding that these prices were way too high prior to the game's release. And TC have stated they're listening to feedback, which is great, and I'm sure they'll change things. But it feels very familiar to Gears 4 a few weeks or even a few months after launch with all the animosity and criticism regarding the Season Pass, if you will remember. It feels like we're here again. And all we want as a community is for the game and the franchise to succeed and become greater, a win-win for everyone, because we love this game and we love the Coalition for bringing Gears back to life. And all this comes from a good place. It's just worrying to see all the problems occurring at the moment, whether it be the store, forcing players to play modes they particularly don't want to grind the Tour of Duty, Escalation 2, matchmaking times, which are surprising so early on, the state of ranked, it all needs attention. And I'm only producing this video to say that I really just hope it doesn't deter too many people from what it is at its core. And I don't want people to leave the franchise. And, you know, it's a fantastically well-produced game. They've done incredible, and we're very lucky to have a Gears title like this. I just want to express my concern, and I do hope all these issues are addressed effectively and soon, because it's a shame to see all this animosity at the moment. The Coalition are the best in the industry at creating a world for us all to experience, and they definitely take the PvE, player versus enemy crown. But when it comes to PvP, it feels like there's still a lot to be learned. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. We're very lucky with Gears 5, and I hope these issues are fixed and we can all experience a game that is brilliant at its core. And I hope I'll see you next time.